enthusiasm. I mean, it's, enthusiasm, life, it's spirit. It's all, it's all over the place. And to be able to, I mean, you need a focus to be able to channel that enthusiasm. So that really spoke to me loud and clear.
Yeah. And for me, it's doing it without comparison in society or others. It's my enthusiasm, it's my passion that wants to do whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Sagittarius is really good at standing on the hill and looking at the big picture. And from being hill, the priorities to me are, show up more, because I think, who is that I read that he used to climb on top of the hill, and if he had a crossroads, whichever one shone more brightly, that's the one. But you can
that was the fool on the hill.
Something like that. No, it was that'll work too. That'll work too. But if you're on the hill and you see the thing that shines more brightly, that's yours, right? But you can only see that by standing on the hill.
So I don't have, sorry,
macro vision.
That's a good visualize that. I like that. Yeah.
So he says civilization as a process demands the goading of individuals to spend their vital energies in the pursuit of achievements, which, while fulfilling the individual's ambition and greed, nevertheless generate various forms of what we call, quote, progress. This sequence of symbols mainly refers to the drive for advancement along, quote, human, all too human paths of growth. So this is the last symbol of the 50th five-fold sequence around the zodiac. And we see in it how socio-cultural forces operate by dramatization and propaganda. The result is all too often a process of, and he's got it in bold letters, forced growth. Yeah, that's a very easy one. And in this Aquarius information age, I guess we got to look out for all the propaganda.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important at this point to be aware of the shadow of all of that, and to know the shadow's there, but not let it engulf us. So what do you think, Dwayne?
I think you're right. I'm taking note that this new moon is 2 degrees off my natal Chiron, which is back at Sag, what are we, Sag 8, I think. It's the alchemy one. Actually, would you have it there, Steve? Maybe it's worth taking a peek.
8, yeah. Well, let me find it here.
So within the depths of the earth, something new elements being formed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sagittarius 8 is within the depths of the earth. New elements are being formed. I just read where China just found the biggest gold deposit on the planet.
Right.
The keynote is the alchemical fire, which both purifies and transforms the very substance of man's inner life. Forces are at work in the deepest layers of the psyche, which in their own way respond to the outer stimulation produced by a strong involvement in group ambitions and emotions, even more by the powerful tensions and releases of love. An alchemical process goes on, usually unnoticed by the conscious ego, until it becomes obvious that a kind of mutation has taken place and a new level of awareness and of responses to life has been reached. At this third stage of the fivefold sequence, we deal with both the basic rhythm of growth of the human being and the reaction to more individualized experiences which aroused the emotions. The very substance of the person's nature undergoes modifications on the basis of which a new step may be taken. The symbol draws our attention to the inner changes. We have to become aware of them. What is implied is a kind of psychic gestation in bold letters. Psychic gestation.
Thanks for sharing that. I struggle with understanding Chiron in its fullness, but one of the things that I get from it is the notion of the key. And when you get the key connecting with alchemy, it looks a lot like the lightning path. It's like consciously choosing to stick the key in and go on the adventure of whatever is behind that door. And that's definitely been my path there for quite some time. And so I find that I used to print out my birth chart every new moon and see what planets are coming into conjunction and so on. And I've kind of gotten away from that practice, but this closeness to the degree has brought me back into the contemplating that whole alchemy and the quest for the inner knowledge. And the thing about it coming up to where I'm not quite aware of it, but there has been a shift in my whole consciousness. And usually where I perceive it clearly is in my guitar playing, because I'll pick up my guitar and out will come a new song or a new groove, whatever. And that's usually, I attribute it to that. It's like, okay, got a shift here on some level, and if I nurture my awareness of that, it'll get stronger and stronger, and presumably I'll grow. So I don't know. What has your experiences, or who's had experiences with their Chiron that they could share a little tidbit about? Anybody?
Well, it's real close to my Venus. My Venus is at 12 Sagittarius. And so I've noticed that in the last couple of days leading up to this, that there's a real kind of push, or no, not push, it's a calling to let my creativity out more. And it's Venus after all. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and your eyes also, it's like you to see beauty. So there's a process also, probably for you to see a higher beauty
Yeah.
with this after this operation, and probably, yeah, you're supposed to do that because Chiron is the wounded healer. This is like your wound.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't allow yourself to, but sometimes, we can talk a lot. We didn't allow or whatever. It's happening. It's just happening. And we have to go through a healing process. So this was always every 7 years, Chiron is really giving me the shits, If you're, if you like it or you don't like it, somehow you get punched somewhere,
Yeah.
So, and then it depends where your horoscope or what else is for you to know. And maybe you moved already in the directions, because if we can feel into it, well, but we also have blind spots, so there can also come something out of the blue, bomb, it's like you have to just appreciate it in some ways and go through a healing process. And that's sweet. I mean, I always liked my healing. I really appreciated always my healing processes. Because that was the time I would paint. That's the time where I would do things just for myself, because all the others didn't want to do, it's like you feel abandoned mainly because, oh, she's sick, I'm leaving because I want to be with healthy people. So it's like you get your space where you have to be with yourself.
Well, I'm very aware that the eye that's kind of hiding right now is my left eye. So left brain,
Yeah, but it's the opposite. So it's the right side, which is like sort of healing, because it's like we have this so cross thing. So that's from massages and shiatsu. I know that this side
Acupuncture.
is connected to that side. So if you heal here, you heal here, it's like always the opposite. So
It can be, yeah.
yeah, from healing people, I know that. But it's like a process which is like in your seeing apparatus, and it's totally actually separate from the rest of your systems, because your eye, your vision is separate. It's also interesting, I think.
That's what were you say? What were you saying? Sorry, like you said you noticed like it's your left eye. So was there more expansion on those thoughts or?
Well, my understanding of our right side of the body is the action doing yang. The left side of the body is the receptive feminine, right? And my understanding is they cross somewhere around the throat, so left brain, right side, so left brain to me is all the logical, the shoulds, I should be doing this, whereas the right is the intuitive, the feminine, and that is working twice as big right now. Because this side needs to be sheltered away for a little while, not forever, for a little while. My right brain, my right eye is the queen. And it's like that image that you talked about, Steve, it's this month. And I go and see, and the new moon is today, and I go and see Dr. Warder on Monday morning. And, I have total faith in that man. So that's all good. It's just neat to know, okay, it feels like this side of my being is working a lot more, right? And it's reflected in my reading and in my writing and in my conversation. So yeah, I'm grateful.
Yeah, very interesting.
So have you done your write-up for this lunation?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet, because it's been
Yeah, I just thought maybe you had it.
No, I started to, and I just couldn't, this eye gets tired doing everything, so a lot of things are kind of on hold, and I'll get to it tomorrow. It'll still be okay. I'll send you one.
Great. Yeah, I love getting those.
Is there any way I'd love to be on a recipient of?
Sure, I can just send it to Lightning Path,
Oh, good.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. I'd appreciate that.
And you can all play with it.
Yeah.
So I see my Chiron has been dancing with Pluto. So now that I look at it, I go, oh, I understand now.
And what do you understand?
I understand that I went through a heart attack, came back from the dead.
Oh.
Wow.
I witnessed death with Sophia, and so it's been pretty big the
Wow.
last 3 years if I look at
Yeah.
Pluto moving through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just in those two areas alone, that's been plenty of Chiron stuff. So what's interesting, I just looked at my chart and I don't know if it was last week, we were talking about Vesta,
Yeah.
and I said, oh, I don't have that on my chart. Let me check it out. So I haven't yet looked at what Vesta means, if somebody has some thoughts on that, because it's now conjunct with Pluto in Aquarius. So that's what's showing up. And I don't have an understanding of that at the moment. But that feels like the immediate focus.
Vesta, I mean, I've heard of, but yeah. Astrologers help.
Yeah.
Vesta, I'm not familiar
I
with.
think it's an asteroid between Mars and Jupiter.
Mhm.
And there's lots of talk around asteroids and mining asteroids and finding new elements. But I'm not sure what its meaning is yet.
Well, Vesta is the solitary, the Vestal virgins.
Oh, okay.
They had the keepers of the flame.
Okay.
So
That feels right. This solitary individualism that I'm experiencing.
well, and Vesta polarizes with Juno, the consort. So you've experienced both ends of the spectrum there. Now, you've been on your own, you've been in relationship,
Yeah.
you've had it all, and it's really been intense here in the last while. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Pluto is magnifying that, and it's in all my healing work, going to the chiropractor. But it was pretty fascinating. I had a little foreshadowing this past week. So I went out to Piper's Lagoon on Sophia and my anniversary. And in the gravel path coming back, I didn't see it going out because I was looking at all the logs that had washed in from the storm. But coming back after going to my power spot, here in the gravel, somebody has made a beautiful line across the path, then a wave, and then coming out of it, a nice spiral.
Beautiful.
nice.
And I see it, and it just stopped me in my tracks. So I took a pic of it. And then a couple of days later, I go to my chiropractor, and I'm doing exercises on the bed of spiraling here and spiraling at the base and connecting the spine. So
Nice.
the spiral showed up
There's
as one of those, wow, okay.
the three symbols that were drawn for you.
Mhm.
The line, your spine,
Yeah,
the wave that
waves.
you're on,
Yeah.
and the
moving
Kind of
through,
like
and
that,
then
that calendar behind Joanne there.
oh,
Behind your calendar there.
oh,
is there a spiral on there?
yeah.
We're getting pretty
Yeah.
close.
Oh, you can see it. Should I bring it closer? I don't know if you can.
Wow, Dwayne's got good eyes.
Good eyes because,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, very good. Very good. Good eyes, Dwayne. Yeah, synchronicity, eh? Synchronicity.
Yeah. Seeing the signs.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun with that. I've learned a lot about that in our group here.
Mm.
So when I went to the chiropractor in another session, it was about opening up the spine and the flow in the spine. And when I was done, I just felt really empowered. And I get in the car and I'm driving, and I come to this intersection in town here, and it's dusk. And I stop at a red light, and I'm in the front at the red light. And across the intersection are four businesses all in a row, and they all have four flashing open signs going open, 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 open. I go, okay, I get it.
Great.
I am opening.
That's great.
Oh my goodness. It's everywhere. The signs are everywhere.
Yes, they
Oh my
are.
goodness me.
They
Yeah.
cer-
Yeah, it's fun playing with them.
A couple of the television shows I've watched in the last couple of weeks it was all about signs. Watching the new Matlock, the whole show kept referring to signs. This sign is showing up here. They were focused on signs, and that
Hmm.
happened a few times. It was quite amazing that, yeah. I was seeing my signs, but they were focused on finding their signs. And here it is, on public television,
Yeah.
looking at things on a deeper level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there.
Nice.
I think Sophia showed up this morning as in this final temple of the eagle, or final moon. She showed up as our favorite power animal, which is fruit fly. It's a little mini eagle from, well, I think these bananas were from Colombia. And fruit fly seems to ride along and come from, it connects South America with North America, the condor and the eagle. So
Hmm.
fruit fly is the go-between on it's the micro eagle.
You gotta love me. They've given me a new concept of a fruit fly.
Yeah, they're very, very powerful. It surprised me. I opened up the compost and it was moving around in there. So I said, oh, okay, you're eating. So I left the lid askew in case it wanted to come out. And then this morning it just flew out of a towel. And so it's hanging around.
I have a presentation if you guys are up for it. It
Oh,
has a
yeah.
big synchronicity at the very end, actually,
Oh, yeah,
which I think you'll all enjoy.
sure. You're going to say it's about fruit flies, right?
Okay, we'll be watching for it.
Yeah, see if you can figure out what it is.
Great.
So if that's all right, I'll get her started here. And share. And you guys can see the opening lightning
Yep.
path Zoom
Yep.
call.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just picking up a thread from our last encounter, where
Oh,
the whole notion of apus came up. And apu is a term from the Andean spiritual tradition, particularly in Peru, referring to powerful mountain spirits or deities that are considered sacred and revered as protectors and ancestors. These apus are believed to hold immense spiritual energy and are often honored in rituals and offerings to seek guidance, protection, and blessings for the community. So years ago, when I was a teenager, I fell in love with this mountain west of Calgary, just on the outer extremities of the entry into the Banff territory. So it's just before you go into the mountains, and it's over on the right-hand side, and it's just a beautiful mountain. And I befriended the chief of the Stoney Indians at that time, Chief John Snow. This is a picture of him here. And it turned out that we both were very much resonating with this particular mountain. And with his guidance, I established, well, it ended up being a medicine wheel that was accessible to everybody. But it was his direction initially that got me to the place where that wheel came into being. And as you know from my last presentation, this healing ceremony for planet Earth that was conducted by Hopi Indians in 1976. When I got the invitation, I went into meditation, and what came to me was that I was to lead a group of people up Mount Yamnuska for the full moon, in conjunction with the folks doing their ceremony in Vancouver and other parts of the world. It was one of the very first, if not the first, like global networked ceremony. And it was really sweet to find this information on Chief Snow. It really took me back to a number of really significant experiences I had out on the Stoney Indian lands, one of which was attending the North American Indian Ecumenical Conference. They came from all over North America. Out on Stoney property there, on this one area, they had, I can remember seeing like 50 teepees all at once, and just this magnificent display of color and their honoring of their traditions. And it was open to everyone. And I was like one of the very few whites that showed up, but I was totally welcomed. And I can remember dancing in a big circle. I was the only white guy, and had all these, especially young guys, and we were all swirling together. It was really, for me as a young man, it was really quite impactful, and I cherish those memories. So Mount Yamnuska is a geological anomaly. And this painting, by the way, is Teresa. Teresa painted that. She caught that vision in actuality on her way home from Calgary out to the coast. She was driving that early in the morning, and there was the moon.
yeah.
There was Yamnuska.
Wow, it's
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
I've
And
seen
there's
that.
a little booklet that I got at the time. Some geologists and I don't know, just a group of people got together and were wanting to make this like a park and have it be protected and so on. And in that booklet, I came across this note here. The most spectacular and interesting feature of the Mount Yamnuska area is the McConnell Thrust. Along this great fracture in the Earth's crust, a block of the Rocky Mountains, several miles thick and tens of miles in length, was shoved between 8 and 25 miles to the east and elevated 5 miles in the process during the birth of the Rocky Mountains over 50 million years ago. the mass of the rock moved along this thrust. I'm sorry. The mass of the rock moved along this thrust taxes the imagination. The thickness of Eldon limestone atop Mount Yamnuska is but a small fraction of the thickness of this thrust sheet. So this, anomalous geological feature of the mountain, and it always has felt to me like it's thrusting, like there's this upthrust. That's just what it is, unlike all the other mountains around. And so to encounter this geography or geological description here, it was just confirming to this whole sense of the kind of the unique nature of this particular mountain. So here now, I find myself in very similar orientation to the chief here locally. And I'm just feeling really grateful for that in my life, because Yamnuska was very dear to my heart, and now the chief is very dear to my heart. I feel like I'm being nurtured and supported by their presence in my life. Now, when it comes to resonating with mountains, I'm thinking of Nikola Tesla and his notion, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So the whole concept of the Apu is that these mountains have a life, they have a presence, and it is possible to resonate with that presence. And that's exactly how it was for me in relating to Yamnuska. So I'm living at the time, we called it the Rainbow Ranch, west of Calgary in Springbank. And literally, I could sit in my living room couch, looking north, and to my left, I could see Mount Yamnuska.
That's so
from the
great.
couch.
Oh.
I mean, it was, well, I don't know, it's just such a huge blessing. I just felt like all I needed to do was gaze to the mountain, and I'm feeling like I'm vibrating with it. And, unlike there's all interesting mountains there in behind, but it was Yamnuska that had my heart. And that's where I gravitated to for that first earth healing ceremony. And that was the first of, 25 or 30 ceremonies, not all done right at Yamnuska, but that was definitely the starting point for that whole series. Now, in March of 1986, March 3rd, this is when, living at that home and first thing in the morning, going to my study and preparing to open up to whatever's coming in my research at that time. And that's when I had the Mayan, what I call it, the Mayan download, when I had this full-bodied crown chakra to root chakra vitalization of my being. And I saw ahead down the lunation cycle line, and all the hieroglyphs lined up so that I was being shown the territory ahead symbolically if I chose to take the journey. So I virtually had to get the complete experience, I had to commit to a 21-year, 260 lunation cycle quest. And this was probably the most stressful time in my whole life. And it was a question of, do I stay in this relationship or do we part and go our separate ways? And for me, it was entirely clear what I needed to do, and that was to move ahead with this this empowerment that was being brought my way. And that meant the family at that time broke up, and was part of the sacrifice of moving with this whole energetic. That was the same site. IMIX was the site of the harmonic convergence event in 1987, I'm sorry, which fit right in with the whole quest that the healing ceremony for planet Earth had been. They were very resonant events, and people really resonated with the site at the time. So, as you know, I've been quite enjoying ChatGPT.
Oh my goodness me.
It's getting richer all the time.
Too
And
funny.
I've had this image in mind. I'm a solo adventurer, tracking the lunation cycle and communing with Uranus. And here I was able to prompt the robot to create the image on the left anyway. And so then I started putting pieces together. And here we are. On the left, I'm taking that big swirl, that big wave. That's the lunation cycle. That's what we're surfing. And so there I am with the yellow submarine. And at that time, the yellow submarine meant to me that other people would be joining me on the journey. I didn't know when or how, but I was assured that this wouldn't be a forever solo journey. And so, after the first 20 years, people started to get more on track with what I was doing and participating actively themselves. So we have this thread of experience behind, and we have the map of what's coming up. And that's why today we can look at the new moon hieroglyph and number and be nurtured by them. And that is the lightning path. Now down here, the myth of the feathered serpent. Now this is all in support of the activation of the myth of the feathered serpent. So it's really got that mythic dimension to it. It's long-standing in Mesoamerican culture. The feathered serpent is embodied by countless cultures in Mesoamerica, and now it's become a global phenomenon. And the work that we're doing, we are making the myth visible. We're bringing it to life through the symbols. The symbols are what are guiding us. Astrology is a big part of it, or has been. So I want to bring your attention down to the bottom. There we have March 3rd, 1986. And we have the first ascent up the pyramid step. And I haven't shared with you guys before, as far as I can recall, what happened on that particular moon cycle. And this is the symbol for closure. And there was a closure between what happened here and what happened here. So there's this is the essence of the whole journey, right, contained right here. And there we have the hand. So I'm thinking of Brenda and her hand that has just come into my view, our view in the last few days. And it signals to me that it really is time to start bringing this part of the work forward.
And that's probably when around the time that I created that hand.
Oh, right on. Well done. So from this point on, I'll be encouraging everyone to get your birth chart, because a lot of the languaging, the symbolic languaging that's coming up it'll be derived from astrology. So I've been putting together a basic how to get your birth chart online for free. So for anybody that doesn't have that yet, I'll be sharing that coming up. And so just to keep that in mind, my emphasis will definitely be on bringing this part of the work forward. So.
Yeah, before you move on from that one, I'm just really enjoying, I have the 6 of us vertical, and then the other 6 Mayans moving. I'm really enjoying watching that.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. Oh, it was really fun to realize I could do that with this.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
And for me, in putting all that together, I just referred back to, I can't remember exactly what moon cycle it was, but when we all as a group encountered Guachimantones through
Mhm.
just the way the threads of the group went, this loomed into our collective view that there is such a place on the planet, and it's not far from where is it?
Tequila.
There's tequila. Yes, exactly right. And over on
Tequila,
the coast,
Mexico.
I'm thinking of forget it.
Guadalajara,
What is Guadalajara? Right. Then on the ocean is
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta.
Mhm.
Exactly. And, for the way it has impacted me is that I believe that these people were working with the same symbology that we are, and that they built their culture around that body of principled work. And my sense is that just like going back to the golden-haired goddess, okay, and this push to achieve and how it can get distorted and get torqued out of natural evolution.
Mhm.
And it becomes a big ego game. Well, I have this sense that a lot of the big structures we see in Maya land came from that, as opposed to what I have seen of this, and I'm still early on in the exploration, but there's a whole different vibe here. The vibe is about family, it's about fun, it's about, as you look down at the bottom left here, and if you see some of the pottery from this era, from this place, they're very much this whole vibe of we support each other, we enjoy life. It's actually very sophisticated what they have here. There's obviously a ritual aspect to these structures, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it on some even if it's a peripheral level. I'm still feeling out whether is Dwayne meant to go to Guachimantones, actually
Mhm.
in the flesh, really feel the vibe there. That's definitely still in my radar.
I see the eagle flying there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Eagle man.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Wow.
Temple experience. Getting to see this again as we finish off the Temple of the Eagles. That's interesting to see.
So, as Jose says, at the core, each man is the center of his own compass and experiences, his own cardinal points, north, south, east, and west. So this is bringing us back to this utility of the birth chart, because it resonates with that whole notion. And Arguelles, in his book Mandela, which was published in 72, was really a landmark book at the time. It was just thrilling to encounter it in my life. I got it for Christmas. It was published in 72. I obtained my copy as a Christmas gift. Reading the book caused my interest in astrology to soar, especially once I realized the psychologically integrative value of relating all factors in a birth chart back to its common center. Sun, moon, and all of the planets thus take up residence in the chart as symbolic representations of specific psychological functions inherent in the human condition. Sun and moon are primary in the lineup, with Sun taking center stage as the representative of one's core purpose and fountainhead of personal power. So recently, since we met last, I have worked with the Mayan solar kin, which is directly related to this, because we go to the birth chart to determine the exact position of the sun at birth. When we transpose that into the Mayan soul kin, we get a whole kind of soul level reading for each person. Where your sun is in your birth chart is a very, very significant reference point for all of us. And with ChatGPT, what I've been doing is calculating a person's solar kin, then asking the robot to interpret that particular configuration. And then I've gotten searching for an image to represent the essence of what I've discovered. And it's been very satisfying. And right off the bat, I came across an image of Trump and his team. So Elon, Robert Kennedy Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy. I think I've got everybody there. And what I did, I calculated all their charts. I did their solar kins. I got ChatGPT to do a readout. I didn't go searching for an image at that point. I just stayed with the readout, or the text readout and the poetic readout. I bundled them all up and posted it on X for each one of them. So out there in cyberspace right now is a blessing of these newly elected representatives of democracy. And it's out there, and it's going to be interesting to see if I get any kind of response. But I just felt impelled to do this, and it was just like that whole wave of the stupendous election results. There was quite the surge of energy, and I thought, well, why not make a blessing, you know? And so, just so you know, that's out there. You might want to check it out. I think I put the link to it on some of the new articles I've been composing here on the website. So the Mandela principle is what we're dealing with. We're actually taking a universal principle and putting it to work. Rudyard's notion that every birth chart is a mandala of individual selfhood interested me considerably. Serendipitously, it came at a time when the Mandela concept was being widely popularized by art historian and visionary Jose Arguelles and his wife Miriam, who in their lavishly illustrated book Mandela fully explained the Mandela principle. So here we go. The universality of the mandala is in its one constant, the principle of center. The center is the beginning of the mandala, as it is the beginning of all forms and all processes, including the extensions of form into time. The center is symbolic of the eternal potential. From the same inexhaustible source, all seeds grow and develop. All cells realize their function. There is a structural law, a cosmic principle, by which perceptible forms are sustained and which governs the processes of transformation in all things. This can be realized only because the center principle manifests itself through man in the same ways as it does through a flower or a star. In it, we may discover our cosmic commonality, our cosmic community. So we're entering a whole new stage of the journey of the lightning path. Each one of us has got a center. All the centers are connected. We know that intellectually, and we can know it completely experientially. We're in direct experience of a sacred principle, a universal principle.
So those are the empowered humans?
You bet.
Mm.
On that etheric level, it's a
Mhm.
different form. Our light bodies are of a different substance.
Mm. Yeah.
And what do we have coming up but Neptune arriving at the final degree of the zodiac, and on March 31st of next year, it's moving into Aries for the start of its 150 some year journey. And it's that particular date that I'm now focusing on in my own work. Because I'm aware of it, carry a responsibility to now spread the word. This is a very auspicious moment for people to be embracing the life of the universalist, where it's the realm of unconditional love. Supporting each other. This little wee yellow submarine.
Mm. It all feels very auspicious for sure. Like I just, holding this moment. And, the potential of what is and is yet to be.
Feels like a fun ride.
Well,
and creative and fun, and you bet. So just as I love this this transposition I did of Blake's statement about art. Art exalted, imagination ignited, peace empowers the people.
Mm.
So I was happy to receive your Brenda sent, or did you post it on the thread, or was that a direct to me? I can't remember. The same eagle showed up with a big full moon behind.
I didn't. It's the same eagle.
yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful image with the full moon, the one that you shared, Brenda. I mean, that just just looking at that and vibrating with that image is pretty potent.
Well, it hit me so powerfully, and the synchronicity of it. And I was concerned that I was sharing too much, but it just felt right. So thank you and I have to say that I was supposed to be leaving at 10 o'clock. I woke up this morning with my chest feeling a bit funny. Thank you, my body, for keeping me here, because I sent a text off just a few minutes ago to say I can't come because I need, well, I didn't say I need to be here. I just do need to be here. So
Oh, wonderful.
thank you, all of you.
You didn't say you'd been hijacked.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was truthful. You know, I'm apparently I have asthma, so something's
Oh,
happening in my body, but it's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
but but even
You're just one of those 6 dancers.
We can do that.
And I do love to dance, I'll tell you.
Yeah, there you go. We're all drumming.
yeah.
And life is all a dance. It just
Mhm. It would.
changes.
I like that you did that, Steve. It'd be nice to see that, but I guess I can visualize it in my mind the way you described it. But I just think that that was neat that you did that, putting us parallel to the dancers, and yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we're perpendicular. It's my view on Zoom has all of us vertical,
Right,
and then it's right beside where Dwayne's got all 6 of
Right.
them moving.
right,
It's just a real
right.
wonderful image.
Yeah. Mm.
Creates a cross or a T.
I
Yeah.
don't have any of that, but I have, I guess, 5 of us at a time on the side.
Well, let's see, what view do I have it on? I have it on side-by-side gallery view.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I have. Yeah, side by side gallery. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
And does that show all 6?
Yes.
Well, I on the side for me, I only get 4 of us at one time on the screen. I have to arrow down to
Okay.
get to see the other. Yeah, the others I don't get all. For me, that's how my
Mhm.
screen is.
It occurs to me that I'm interested to know what people are actually watching this on. Are you on computer or on phone or
Yeah, I'm on a computer screen.
okay,
Yeah,
So-
I'm on a. Oh, sorry, I'm on a computer screen.
okay.
I'm on a laptop that I don't know enough about, so
Yeah, no, that. So nobody's on a small phone.
No,
We've all got
The
okay.
difference in viewing is usually between Apple and like Microsoft or Android and Apple. That's usually what the differences show up in view
Mm,
plus functions.
Yeah.
mm.
So as we look at this image, any commentary on any particular moons that stand out that you'd like
Oh, I can just go, oh, wow.
to?
I mean,
Go ahead, go. Oh, wow.
oh, wow. Just the
Be
eagle.
effulgent.
Yeah, the eagle feather got delivered to me during this temple. Just a lot of eagle
Mm,
signs and
mm.
Your power spot.
yeah, yeah, that's my nest. And going back to the finding the portal there, it's a little miniature apu because it's pointed, it's a rock, but it has that power. Of course, from that view across the Salish Sea was all the clouds were just in a line covering the mountains on the mainland along the coast.
Nice.
But peaking above it is one newly snow-capped
Oh,
apu.
beautiful.
Yeah. So I got that pic, and it was like, it was just poking out.
Hmm.
But yeah, this has been just an amazing temple. And like I shared along with Pluto and then Vesta, but in your presentation with Yamnuska, that was where I first surrendered and went over the cliff. Because I was doing a facilitator high ropes, and one of the events was rappelling off of Yamnuska or going over the edge.
Wow,
So that was pretty powerful. So I really resonated with that.
I'm sure.
I was curious on that March 3rd, 1986. I was looking when you put up your birth chart, and I wasn't sure if I was seeing Vesta or not. But it looks like it's at Sagittarius 11, which is like the next one to this moon of Sagittarius 10.
But didn't you say Sag 8 for your Vesta, Dwayne?
That's Chiron.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, cancel clear.
So whatever that birth chart you were showing there, I wasn't sure if that was Vesta or not. I was just wanted to ask, what is that symbol showing up at Sag 11, which is like following this moon? So I was curious if it was Vesta, because then where was Vesta for you on March 3rd, 1986? Because you're talking about, oh, suddenly I'm the individual. I'm choosing to go on my own. So I was really resonating with that, going, oh, wow, yeah, that's what's happening for me.
Yeah, very interesting. I'll have to
As an
check.
individual. So I was curious where that Vesta was located on March 3rd, 1986.
Mhm.
And
Well,
then,
I'll go digging
yeah,
and we'll have a conversation on that.
yeah. Then you're putting out to the world the charts for these, what are kind of referred to in society as leaders. I'm not quite certain on that, but no, maybe it'll create an awareness and they will read their chart and be guided. Who knows? But I would also put up the opposite side. I would put up Kamala's and Tim's charts too, so they can see what happened.
Well, just while we're on that particular topic, this all happened within the 12 Ahau lunation.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that Trump's solar kin is 8 Ahau. Whereas Elon Musk, and if you're familiar with his the Dogecoin,
The Bitcoin.
well, his is oak, the dog. So we have a nice synchronicity there. Because the Dogecoin's got the little doggy and all of that. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Yes.
Well, I'm curious if they'll come across it and then they'll use it as a tool for inner reflection. That would be refreshing.
And that was my hope, in
Yeah.
posting it. I felt that the commentary that the Chat GPT generated, I resonated with. I felt like this is, as much as I could see into the character of each person, this seemed like a good fit, and along with it came considerations of the dark side. It encourages them to be this way, and it cites ways that it might be a problem, and how to find the way of harmony through it.
Right.
Oh, and that's another thing with Trump. His birth chart has a major trine, and what was it? I lost my train of thought there. there was, maybe it'll come back around. There was something about his trine, or his grand trine, that featured really prominently in that. But I'm sorry, I'll get back get back to you on that one.
But I think that's interesting too. Like to me, I don't on that level, a more detailed level, like that you're doing with charts and whatnot. I think is wonderful and could be very well interesting to follow or to hear about. Because for me, that I'm just on a kind of an energetic or a sensing feeling, like with the whole. I just feel it's like, well, yeah, this is meant to be. And I mean, fasten our seatbelts, like change. I mean, what could be a greater change than, anyway, I just feel we're in it, it's happening. And,
Absolutely.
you know, and I just, yeah, it's just part of, yeah, I don't know, quite speechless, I guess, in a lot of ways, but I just anticipate that, boy, it's that's signifying. I mean, what could be a greater mirror or significance of the change that has been forecast and that is we're in, and this is huge. Is how I feel. Like I just, yeah, and you're saying that as well, and the details that you're getting on the charts and whatnot. I think that's, yeah. Not that I'd follow it in that detail, but I'd be good to hear about it. And as I say, that my feelings are just a mix of excitement and explosion. And oh my God, we've been in it for a while, but to me, it's like, okay, we are now on the precipice or on the on the top of the mountain or whatever. We're hanging on the edge of change. Part of me thought, oh boy, I'm not even going to be alive to see, you know, the outcome of the Aquarian age or whatnot. But I'm grateful that I'm here at this point in in the stages of it, and yeah, who knows? Who knows? I might be able to still physically. Anyway, I'm babbling, I realize, but it's an energetic that's just in my body and vibrating, and it feels like, oh boy, yeah, oh boy, we are so in it.
Yeah, I guess I can see, based on the Sabian symbol for this moon, what the key word we started with was opportunity. So now we'll see what they do with the gold-haired goddess of opportunity.
I don't know my chart very well, but I'm looking forward to knowing it better. But I do know that my moon is in Sagittarius, and then Capricorn's coming up. My sun's in Capricorn, and I feel like the goat that's climbed, you know, has climbed and climbing the mountain. But I feel there's been so much healing, growth, just so much this year, and yeah, feel like the goat climbing the mountain and getting close to the top. So. Yeah.
Climbing the Apu.
Mm.
So the little tidbit that I wanted to share with you guys actually came back, and it had to do with Trump. And I did his, you know, as I think all of you know, the temple of birth. We calculate that according to the Book of Electrum and the whole layout of the hieroglyphs, so that each one of us has a temple of birth. Well, Trump's temple of birth is Manik, which is closure, completion. And this is the mudra for him as in that temple, and I have pictures of him. I think I've got 3 pictures where he's using this mudra to make a point, and this whole trine that he has, this man is wired to divine harmony. He's wired to make it through, and here he is with the wars, I mean, there are steps being made, and I just pray that, he can follow that inner calling and really find a way through.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And I really like the way you've expressed it, Steve. I mean, let's give our ear to what these people have to offer, and let's encourage them to take them, the biggest view and the most compassionate and so on.
Yeah, to be compassionate towards all human beings. For me, I'd say he's probably created the biggest challenge for me. In all honesty, because I grew up in it and I see at a root level where they come from. And to me, it's more of that greedy side of the opportunity. And so I don't, everything's impermanent, so hopefully that'll change. I'm not sure, but when I see where his environment and all, it just, it certainly doesn't resonate for me, but at a deeper level, I can show compassion for it, but it's like that flavor of ice cream. It's just not my flavor. And there's many other flavors that I prefer. But I can have compassion for what his experience has been. And I just have my own beliefs around it. But it's somewhat, there's definitely a disturbance going on. It's disturbing in many, many ways. So, it's just not my flavor.
Well, I'm feeling hopeful, and the one thing for me is, or how I want to see it, or see it, or hope to, is I saw a movie once. Well, I'll start with what I wanted to say is I like the fact that he's not a politician, and somehow I'm resonating with that, in that I think of a movie, I can't remember a long time ago, but it was about the American, anyway, about the government and whatnot, and the vice president that had to take over, and this is a movie, mind you, that had to take over, he wasn't one party or the other. Like, he just was like, why does it have to be one party or the other? And it's by, and can we not just be human beings, people working together? You've got your views, you've got your suggestions, like, a healthy debate, healthy whatever, but being not one party or the other. Like, and what I resonated with is back to that movie. I thought, okay, Trump is not a politician. He just dropped in there, you know, I don't know, divine intervention or whatever. Anyway, he's yeah, I won't go on any further. I just resonated with that I would like to think there's hope, or hope, maybe that's the wrong word, that we can come to a place as beings that it's can we not all work together? Can we not all work towards a common goal or together? Like, I guess that's
So support the greater good rather than specific parties.
hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah, that would be wording. Thanks, Brenda. Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem congruent though with what you're saying and what spews out of his mouth. It's not congruent for me. But
Mm,
those are my ears, those are my filters.
mm,
I mean, there's just a level of meanness that I find totally, totally unnecessary.
mm,
And it's harmful and it's cruel, it's mean, it spews, it's
mm,
actually quite sad. It saddens me
mm,
that is what people are looking for leadership. And like I say, I grew up in it as a child. And to me, it's more like a pus that had to come to the surface than some liberating idea. So the pus is happening as far as I'm concerned.
mm,
And in that, there can be a healing. Because it's always been there, it's always been underlying, it's always been perking, and now it's spewing out like a volcano.
mm, mm.
But like I say,
And
that's my experience around it, and for what it's worth.
yeah, no, that's good, Steve. Thanks. And maybe he's the catalyst for such awakening, or such.
Yeah.
I get for the pasta.
Yeah.
He's the catalyst.
I
Yeah.
find it so disturbing that I don't watch a lot of it.
Right.
But what's coming to mind right now is many years ago going to the Westminster Abbey in Mission. And as I'm thinking about it, it's on a hill, highest point in that area. And there's actually, oh my gosh, there's actually, there's a pilgrimage that happens every year in that area to Mary. There's not a temple. Anyway, it's for Mary, and it's lower down on the mountain, but at the top is the Abbey. And I remember going many years ago, and the nuns had created a quilt of the Last Supper, and they left Judas out. And I remember all those years ago, much younger, thinking, but he was part of the story. He had a very important role in that story becoming what it did, and then, what Dwayne is sharing about Trump, I'm hoping that's the positive, and this is the story that's going to have a positive outcome. Anyway, I'm not explaining that right. I know what I'm feeling inside.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
And I think it's, holding our centers and keeping that focus and commitment, and not getting caught in the drama of the dark and light, holding that oneness to help create that change, be part of that change.
Yeah, right on.
And I actually have a 4-panel, it's actually done by a photographer, but it's the Abbey. It's 4 panels and it's about 6 feet wide and about 3 feet tall in the other room on the wall. And I didn't even think of that until just now, that it is on top of a mountain, a small one, but nevertheless, it's the top of the peak, and then has a whole view of the valley below when you go visit there.
Nice. Can I ask you a question, Dwayne?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, with the charts that you did there for all of them and for Trump, was there any thing that, what are the things that maybe stood out or that was sort of enlightening, or what kind of stood out for you? Was there on those charts, doing those charts?
You know, I was just going for the solar kin, so that was
Oh,
really the focus.
right.
The charts themselves, you know, are loaded with information, of course, and I just had to keep focused on that. And you know, the fact that Trump was right there as the how leader
Right.
or visionary kind of thing, that was just a bang on. You know, thanks for that one. And then the
Right.
mudra,
Right.
Mudra, yeah.
and then
Right.
and then the Dogecoin, Elon, and you know, Temple of Loyalty and Faith. You know, which has the dog as the
Mm,
power animal. So other than that,
mm, mm, mm. But again, back to, just so I can hear it again or understand it a bit better. So this Trump solar kin, like, I guess I've lost. Is astrological chart? I've lost the word, like solar kin. I've forgotten quite how you do that. Is that is
well, what we're doing, I think this might explain.
oh,
We're transposing. So the sun in your birth chart
right?
in the zodiac. That's a frame of
So
reference.
so
What we're
okay, so
doing is by using what I call the Mayan factor,
mhm.
we transpose the position in the zodiac to the position in the Tzolk'in.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's the sun in both
Right.
systems, and you know,
Okay.
it's just really exciting to me to be entering this
Oh,
new kin realm because it just feels so right for now. You know, it's simple, but it can engage people quite deeply. You know, just right off the bat. Whereas if you take a general approach
mm,
with a birth chart and you hold that out, people are
right.
overwhelmed. There's just too much.
Right.
You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas
So
coming in with the
right.
solar kin, it's kind of like the temple of birth, you know, is a very integrative concept. It's bringing all the symbology, you know, into a compact
Mm,
place, and it's like, oh yeah, and I've got a spot in there, you know, I got a reference
right.
point that's uniquely mine.
Mm.
And,
So
Right, you're talking
so
about our individual temples of birth, not the temple of birth.
right.
yeah.
Our own, like mine is Chuen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
can I, so with Trump, sorry about, I really want the clarity here for myself.
Yeah.
So with Trump, so his solar sun, like I think he's a Leo, is he not? I think his, I think his, what is,
Gemini.
Yeah.
oh, he's a Gemini. Okay. Okay. So his solar sun that's in Gemini, then when you transpose it onto the Mayan, that's okay. So his sun in Gemini. Well, that's interesting that he's a Gemini, right? Anyway, then transposed, then that's where you found that he's in the temple of is it Monique or the one?
Well, no, his solar kin then is 8 Ahau.
8 Ahau.
So you got the dynamism and the
Right.
management, energetic, you know, the
Oh,
vision. He's here to step up to the plate and be seen and to, you know, enact. And
hmm, hmm,
I mean, it just seemed to me
hmm.
it suited him to a T. Um,
Right. Okay. No, that's good to understand this kind of stuff because yeah. Wow.
you know,
That
and the
does
fact
make
that I'm coming into that awareness at the same time that we're in this 12 Ahau lunar cycle, you know. I mean, we're getting resonance with on different levels. And that's how I proceed, you know, is by following those those vibes.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow.
I mean, it
So,
took a lot of energy and focus to construct all those charts, and then to do, and then to get it up onto X and onto the Light Path website and all of that. But I mean, the energy was just coming in.
Wow.
I got it in the way I go.
hmm.
So that Eta How would be where his solar kin is located in the Solkin.
Yes. Yeah, you got it.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Wow.
So ultimately, I would like that we all are aware of our solar kin, and we'll have a conversation around that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's something we could do by by full moon.
Full moon, yeah. I
Might
have
be
mine somewhere. I don't know where.
right. So we can, is there a way we could find that out, or you would transpose it for us?
Well, what I've done, it's not to the final product yet, but I've done a wee presentation. I'll be able to make a video on it, I think is the way to go. And then you can access the video. It gives you all the step-by-step instruction. Because this is ultimately what I'd like to do, is empower people to do it themselves.
What?
Because if you're like me, you're going to catch
Wonderful.
this energy, and you're going to want to do your family and your friends, It's just really vital. The day that, okay, here we go.
Uh-oh. It's caught the
I
wave.
see some enthusiasm.
I see Yellow Submarine. So before there were any names around here, we had the Yellow Submarine in the center of the sulking, okay, the hieroglyphs. And I calculated for my sister, because it was her birthday, my sister Sheila, it was her birthday, and I calculated her solar kin. And here she comes in at 10 Lamat. And right next door is myself at 7 Lamat. And I tell you, the energy at that moment, like just this convergence, it was so strong. She felt it as well. Like it really hit us both that, oh, well, there's some larger pattern here that's coming into view, And so here's, I've done all kinds. I got Arguez, I got Buckminster Fuller, I got Trump, Jordan Peterson, Edgar Casey, my daughter, my family, and it's just been confirmation after confirmation. That's how I've been experiencing it. Like that, yeah, we're onto something here, and this is a source of energy and information, and that's the way this work proceeds. Like the ancients have left this trail of symbology for us. That's how I relate to it. And we got to get in there and start to work with the symbols, and that will activate them. So in the activation, we're empowered.
Wow.
And I have a large canvas and some circular panels that are just waiting for creations to be put on them. It's like, now I know why I have them.
There you go. Oh, I look forward to seeing those.
Yeah.
They're just blank at this moment. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
exciting. Thank you, Dwayne.
My pleasure. Heart exalted.
And I'm getting
imagination ignited.
Well,
and
there's
I'm getting
like the panel that I did that on all those years ago. So
Yeah.
exciting times.
Yeah. And I still come back to your charts there with Trump and whatnot, and I just think, well, didn't the ancients? Wouldn't it be? I mean, how perfect if it could catch on, to this journey. Like they started, they kind of check into their, and didn't the ancients all have their astrological? They would consult their astrologer, or their shamans, and I think astrology, and I think, oh my God, this could, I mean, yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. how this could open up to, yeah. If just think if we could all, including Trump, if we could all just kind of really tune into this or really get the sense of it or understand the kind of the guidance or the opportunities or the light bulbs that are just waiting to be turned on. It's
Well, the Indians, the East Indians, all I believe did do astrology charts, to have, to find the marriages that are most promising or have the most, positive future, I guess.
I went shopping on Sophia's half birthday and went to Chapters because she liked going there, and I bought a double chocolate brownie and a chai tea, and then I came across this. Just wandering through Chapters, I came across this book.
Wow.
God needs.
God's Heroes and Monsters.
Lavishly illustrated.
Yeah, it's got some really cool pictures in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
It's just basic different chapters on the beginning and end of the world. It's a chapter on death, chapter on tricksters and shapeshifters. So I like that one. But I noticed there's one on they use the Mayan creation story from the Popol Vuh. And there's a subheading in a chapter called Making the Wooden Figures.
Oh dear. Oh my goodness me.
And we need something that can speak and multiply. So it's they were making attempts at creation. So first they made the mud man, then they made the wooden human, or wooden figure rather. Then there was a great flood, and then they created humanity. So it's I just started reading it, but it just kind of jumps off the page. It's kind of fun. And it's bringing they found out that they made a mistake because there was no blood coursing through the wood, but
Whoopsie.
but really there is. I mean, wood does have that
The sap.
going through its veins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm creating monk.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And then he's going to have his hands and he'll do his mudra, and then he can teach anapana. He can teach anapana meditation to whoever wants to hear it, and can teach the Four Noble Truths, and then that's plenty for the puppet to teach. But I went out on that
Wonderful.
half birthday and I found nice Theravada orange cloth fabric, and I'm buying it. And of course, everybody's in there. I'm going against the flow. Everybody's in there buying Christmas stuff in Michael's, and it's all Christmas. And I said, I'd like a meter of this fabric. She says, this looks more like Halloween. This isn't Christmas. And I said, yeah, I understand. I'm not really here for Christmas. I'm here for
monk.
finding the monk's robe. So now I got my sewing machine, so now I can start making the monk's robe.
Oh, wonderful.
And that's going to be my contribution to helping empower humans.
Mm.
That's what I'm feeling coming up.
Nice.
And that's how I want to empower humans, through play and fun. And I went out, it's like through COVID, I didn't go to any concert training, but I made it to Cowichan and to the Epidermis Circus. And what a fantastic show.
Mm.
I mean, just Ingrid is out, they're based out of Victoria and they travel through North America. And I think they did Europe. And talk about fun and expression and enthusiasm just around her. Like, she worked with Jim Henson and the Fraggle Rock group. And what she can do with just a sock and a pair of underwear is amazing. It was hilarious. And so she does a show based for children, and she does a show with adult theme. And it was hilarious and so well. Talk about focus and choreography. It was really, really a lot of fun. So I got a nice picture with her, and it's just really shows me the possibilities of expression. So I'm quite enthused about that, going into this next temple coming up.
It's great.
That's what I have in closing.
I seem to
Closing
be,
time is near. So
Yeah.
step up, folks. Last words.
I'm connecting with a lot of musicians lately, and dance is part of that. And I had been taking music lessons, so that's where I feel like I need to focus back on that. And very quickly, this in the last couple of weeks, if you can see my little, where is he? If I put on my finger, you can see it better. A little gold snake. And of course, my temple is Cheek-chan. And this was on my seat when I took my car in to be serviced. I came back out and there's this little gold ring sitting there. And I went right back in to make sure nobody had lost it. My hit was that it was like this spiritual gift. Went right back into the dealership. Didn't belong to anybody. And then I thought, well, maybe it's just plastic and, belongs to my grandkids, and it fell off, but it's definitely metal. I'm not sure what kind. Might have to take a picture. There may be writing on it. Anyway, it's been a significant gift of this month.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
like powerful. It was just.
And what is it again?
It's a snake.
Oh, so your temple showed up.
It did.
Very
Rather
cool.
miraculously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So I'm
beautiful.
open to the miracles. Yeah. And grateful, very grateful for. Well, pardon me, Joanne.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to know when you're finished. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to, for me, I'm really kind of excited about, I've dabbled in astrology on the surface forever, anyway. So I'm really excited about that. And I mean, we've got astrologers, we've got probably almost a master astrology online here with the two, with Sari and Barb, and Dwayne as well. Like, so for me, it ties into, I'm really glad having read the Sabian symbol here. It's maybe this is helping this Zoom call here with all of us, and the Sabian symbol and what was shared and my feelings. And so for me, that I'm feeling like saving symbol to bring all that enthusiastic energy or that all that spirit or whatever that's always in my life, but I've never, I've had a difficulty channeling it really. And so I'm hopeful.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm hopeful with this new moon. Yeah. New moon. And all I've heard and read and that's been shared, it's like I'm yeah. Now I want to say hopeful. I need to put something more definite on that. But okay, hopeful. I'm going to do hopeful that all this spiritual, wonderful energy, enthusiasm that's been in my whole life, that I want to be laser, I want to focus. I want to be laser clear here. I want to choose something with it to laser this energy. And I'm inspired from today's Zoom and from all that's been shared, and I'm hopeful and I'm grateful. I'm grateful and I'm hopeful.
So very interesting. I'm glad you mentioned that hopeful, and you want to do another word, because hopeful doesn't go anywhere unless there's action. Then it can manifest. And that's what I'm working on. I've got places where do I go in there to take action? And I need to step into that. I want to step into that. So thank you, Joanne, for reminding me about hopeful and action.
Yeah. I knew there had to be a stronger word. All my life, I'm on sort of on the edge. Can I not? Where's the courage? Where's the fire? Where's the, can I step forward? Even with my language, not hopeful. I want to channel this energy. I want it.
Yay. Go rappel off of Yamnuska.
Okay.
Sari, Barbara, final words?
Well, the last image with everything going to a top, right? Going to that mountain. So from my bedroom window, I can see Mount Yamnushka at any time of the day, and if it's a beautiful sunrise, there he is, so I see him all the time. But the other thing that happens is I live on a hill, the top of a hill, and I can see where the sun is farthest to the north at the summer solstice, and it's now moving furthest to the south, for the winter solstice. And I look out there whenever the sun's shining or whenever it's not cloudy. And so it's just a reminder to keep doing that, to really honor those cycles. And I can see the moon come up and go across the sky, in all its phases, providing it's not cloudy. And I live in Victoria, so it's cloudy a lot. But when it's there, it's just really inspiring. And I think that's my contribution to the world, is being aware of those cycles and letting them fill me up with joy, and then bringing that out to whatever I'm doing.
Right on. You got her.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you, Dwayne. And thank you, all of you. Thank you.
You, everybody.
Yeah.
So we have Dwayne and Barbara.
Where's Barbara?
Barbara?
I'm here. I have nothing to say. Just I wish you all a very nice new moon, and hope that things unravel very nicely for all of us. I'm preparing for Christmas, and I have my lights on. So That's all I can do. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank you.
Good to see you, Barbara.
Yeah.
you.
You've
Well,
been missing from my screen. I've only had 5 and I wondered where you were, and here you are.
Thank you.
so when I said I had a presentation with a synchronicity at the end, here comes that endpoint,
Mhm.
thanks to Barbara. Oh,
Uh-huh.
we'll talk about that later. So just looking ahead, there's
Mm.
there's lots coming up. We're going to have a magnificent time.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mhm.
So I usually have an end
You're so
slide like
creative.
this one.
You.
Love
Earlier today, Barbara posted this.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Ah,
Nice.
There's some
Wow.
spirals.
wow.
There's some threes.
3,
Yeah.
6, 9, 3. Mm.
And they're all creative numbers.
They're all toroidal,
Mhm.
which is also from the heart. That's the
Mm.
vibration.
Mm.
Mm.
We can pick up on.
Mm.
I like it. I also enjoyed it.
And thank you for sharing it.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's beautiful. I love that painting.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
you guys.
what's nice about Facebook.
And we, the channel, on we go.
Bye.
the vessels, the vessels.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Been fantastic.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. You bet.
Love to all.